It's no good, I've got to breathe in.
This is Pi, and Pi likes to creep in through the door and relax here all day long. Such a lazy cat. Today is water day. Every so often you have to fill up your water tank with water. If you don't, you run out.
It is also rubbish and recycling day. Always makes me laugh how quickly this day keeps coming back around. Sometimes it does feel like this is all that you do when you live on a boat. In many ways, I'm glad I don't have a pump-out toilet. When you have a pump-out toilet, you have to move your boat every time you want to empty it. A Mexican standoff. Sally, sit down. Sit. Sit. There we go. Let the cat go. See ya. That reminds me, I must do a vlog about recycling because there appear to be a lot of people who still don't know how to do it. If you're new to boating or caravanning and you're not sure about how to empty an Elsan, then check out the video that I made, the how-to video that I made in the description below. Anyway, it's Wednesday, so it's time for the captain's vlog. Roll the intro. Hello! So, some of you have been leaving questions on my previous video, so I thought this would be a good opportunity to answer them. Stephen Harris writes, did I hear you say it was Easter Sunday? Let me just explain what that was about. Recently I reposted an older video from a year ago. Actually it was the anniversary, 1 year anniversary of when I blacked my boat. So I thought I'd repost it. I had to repost it because some music had to be changed on it and the editing had to be updated. It'll probably be the one and only time I repost a video of mine. NC Plant Doctor says, nice to know you're still alive. It's been 3 weeks since leaks and repairs. Alright, that is because I've been ill. I've had a very bad throat and obviously it's very difficult to talk to camera when you sound like this. So literally for the past 2.5 weeks I've been, well, I haven't been bedridden, but I've been ill, and obviously I couldn't speak to camera. So thanks for your concern. A question from Christopher Tilley. How often do you need to do the blacking on your boat? Is it every 2 to 3 years, or should it be every year? Why do you need anodes on your boat? I'll come back to the anodes in a moment, but I'll just talk about blacking and when to do it. Traditionally, blacking every 2 years is good. Depending on the quality and the thickness of the blacking you get on your boat, when I blacked mine a year ago, I got on 3 good, really good coats of blacking, and I was satisfied that that would last about 3 years. I also put on new anodes, so as I said, I'll get back to the question on anodes in a moment. Yeah, someone called Tracy Fun wrote, what do anodes do and what are they for? Anodes are kind of like a sacrificial plate or lump of metal. The metal is usually made of magnesium or something that is a very soft metal. Basically, that draws any corrosion to it so that the actual plate, the anode, corrodes faster than the steel of the hull of your narrowboat. You know when it's been corroded because when you take the boat out of the water, there's hardly any part of the magnesium left. Anodes, if they're doing their job, really help by dispersing electrolysis. Now, electrolysis, it's a bit of a dark art. When you have 2 different kinds of steel, or 2 different ages of steel in close proximity in the water, there seems to be some kind of a reaction that can take place. Also, with electricity that's in your boat. In your boat you have 12-volt electricity, or if you're plugged into shoreline you have a ring mains and you have a lot of power in your boat that also has to earth itself through the steel. So this is how electrolysis and corrosion can occur. Now, you could moor up along the canal and the rivers against lots of different boats for 2 or 3 years and not have too many problems. Then you could moor next to some pilings or another narrowboat over the space of 3 months and get a lot of corrosion. As I say, I know people who have read books on electrolysis and done studies on electrolysis, and still it's very difficult to understand how it occurs and how to stop it, which is why anodes really exist. Dean Salter writes, what about the underneath of your boat, and what is the size of your boat? If I was to guess, it'd be about 50 feet. Very close. My boat is about 55 feet long. I'll get back to the question about underneath because somebody else also wrote, well actually we've had a few people here. No Say, Charles Kane, how do you black or paint the bottom of your boat? This is an interesting question. It really is your decision, okay? I chose not to black the underneath of my boat for 2 reasons. One, because I was in a dry dock, and dry dock, when the boat sits on steels, it's very, very low, you can't get underneath. But there are other places, like over in Watford, a place called PS Marine, where they will crane your boat out and put it on chocks that are a lot higher, so you can get underneath and you can clean it and you can black it. The thing about blacking the base plate is this: no sunlight can get to that base plate and no oxygen can get to that base plate either. So really, unless your boat has scraped along the bottom of the canal or possibly gone over a few shopping trolleys or gone over a few mopeds that have been chucked into the canal when the water is very, very low, you're not really going to damage or scrape anything on your base plate. For me personally, like I say, I blacked mine about a year ago. Maybe the next time I take it out in 2 years, I may chock it a little bit higher so that I can black the base plate. Again, that really is up to you. How good, because you can't really scrape under there. It's very, very dirty work. If you power wash the underneath of it and you can get 1 or 2 coats on the base plate, that's good. Thank you very much for all your questions. I hope I've answered them in a clear and succinct way. If you have any questions about narrowboating or any questions about my previous vlogs, please don't hesitate to put them in the comments below. And every Wednesday or thereabouts, I will do another little captain's vlog and explain a few things. I'll only ever tell people what I know works. In the narrowboating world, you'll always have lots of options of how to correct problems. And people say, oh, I did it this way, or I did it that way, or I did it this way. All you have to do really is just choose one, and that's how you learn. Sometimes you make a good decision, sometimes you make a bad decision, but that doesn't matter. That's all part of this wonderful adventure we call narrowboating. If you have any questions in the future, you can send them to me on Twitter. You just go onto my Twitter, which is @Myles McDowell, and hashtag it catvlog. Also, you can leave comments below all of my videos, and in turn I will go through all my videos and answer as many questions as I can. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching Catvlog. See you next week.